As Snoopy, Mr. Roger Bart. You knew him as Linus. It's BB Wong, everyone. Oh, he's got a... The director of this crazy crew, Mr. Michael Mayer. No, here, you know him, you've seen him, Mr. Anthony Rapp playing Charlie Brown. And as Lucy, we had Ilana Levine. And then our last guest, she did pretty well for herself. Her name is Kristin Chenoweth. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you. When is the last time you guys were all together?
20 years ago, yeah.
20 years? It's been 20 years since you've
We've
seen
all been together, yeah. I mean, we've had interactions and stuff.
with us then too.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it on?
Yeah.
It's not on. It's
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, Stanley was with us that night.
All right, yeah. So 20 years ago, that was it. And have you kept in touch with each other? Kristin, you didn't take your wig?
No, I left her behind.
Did she
There
have
was
a
just
name?
one girl that went, you know, I miss her then.
Remember I said, look at you on stage and your wig was so insane.
I had told him, I said, can there just be one girl that goes, when she goes, da, 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 and he did, that wig designer, and a girl went right back, like a zing, like a, what are those things called? A slinky, yeah.
Slinky curl.
You know, my favorite moment of the show is when you all get together at the end and sing Happiness. It's one of the most beautiful songs. It's incredibly touching, and you sang it a lot. So I wanted to play a little game with y'all and see how well you remembered the lyrics to Happiness. Not easy. This should be simple. So I'm gonna name something, and you just tell me whether this is happiness or not happiness.
Okay.
Pretty simple. So we'll start with one. What about knowing a secret?
Happiness.
Happiness. Okay. What about pizza with sausage?
Yes, happiness.
Yes.
Warm apple pie?
No, not happiness.
Not happiness. I mean, that's pretty I love warm apple pie.
No.
Charles Schultz did not.
You did not.
Or Clark Gessner.
What about skipping to school?
No.
Wow.
No.
Having a sister?
Yes.
Yes.
Sharing a sandwich?
Yes.
Getting tucked into bed before...
No.
That was really not good. Right.
Challenge me, come on.
Okay. 2 kinds of ice cream.
Yes.
Finding a penny.
No.
Close. What's the real one?
Finding a
Pencil. Finding a pencil.
All right,
Yeah,
well, that's pretty good.
Finding a little redheaded girl's chewed up pencil, which is the thing that gave Charlie Brown hope. And I'm going to say that the other thing about happiness is at the very end of the show, every night, Ilana Levine extended her hand to me, Ilana Levine as Lucy, and said, "You're a good man, Charlie Brown." And I got to experience the beautiful soul of this woman night after night, but especially like the last night, it was like, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is say goodbye to that relationship.
We're all crying.
It's actually still kind of painful, huh? It's like sad. Is it? It was really sad.
It was
beautiful. I mean, the way it ended and everything. I have pictures of us on the stage with the roses. People threw roses. Remember? And it was really beautiful and really a nice way to go out. But we were very sad.
Do you remember what you did that night? Did you guys all go out?
We got so wasted.
The Peanuts characters.
Shots of Jägermeister.
Fireball.
Fireball.
I mean, you know, believe me, like we've all been veterans of a lot of shows. Like there really was something that we believed in so strongly, and we were like this little show that could. We were really trying to make it work, like make it work in terms of a commercial, because it was working so beautifully, and just we were like fighting this uphill battle. So finally, at that end, when it seemed like, oh yes, people are really, really getting and responding, and then it was just too late. It was rip your heart out kind of sad moment, but it was also really celebratory. So it's both.
What about you, Roger? Anything that you took home from the show?
The bull.
Besides the bowl, no, emotionally.
Yeah, I think Snoopy's such an interesting little fella. Just because I think, again, what I said earlier about gratitude, I made this choice early on that the rest of the cast and characters were my well-meaning staff. And I thought it was really funny, but at the end of the day, you know, there's so much. Yes, there was a leg that I humped maybe one too many times. But really, what I came away with was a sense of gratitude and love, which is what I would say, you know, about this cast, because everybody's mentioned it, but. The amount of love that each of these people has in their heart, it has taught me so much and got me, who's not really that loving. But they warmed my heart every day in such a way. They were so gracious, and I wish I had been a slightly more awake back then. But I think that the show, every 2 hours was over, and you couldn't help but feel the incredible amount of love coming from each of the people in the cast that they brought to these characters. So I would just sort of say gratitude and love and fantasy, because obviously Charles Schultz and Clark Gessner so well put in this character a sense of, you tripping out every once in a while and having a blast with it. And usually, as I love to, with all characters that are this way, are ending with slight humiliation, which most of these, I think Schultz probably felt a lot of that way about life, that he was humiliated a lot, as you can see thematically through the show. And for me, also, it was my introduction to newspapers as a kid and time with my dad. So seeing those comic strips, so it was really fun to be, once I got over the fact that I had to talk, I really loved that feeling that my dad and I had when I first opened up a newspaper. My job was to find the comics and the Ninas and the Hirschfelds.
I felt the exact same way. Wow. BD, you are currently, everyone is obsessed with your movie. I don't know if you guys have saw this, either Bird Box. No pun intended here, but did you see that coming?
I was really proud to be in it. I liked the project, and nobody saw it coming. We liked it, and you can kind of tell by when movies come out who participates in the press and stuff like that, and you could tell that people liked it, and I think the actors liked it. But it was very shocking. I don't think I'll ever experience anything quite the same as that. Just the amount of people that have seen it, and the way that they saw it, and then the way they kind of went off and did all that other stuff with it, the social media and everything. Yeah.
Have you been looking at the memes?
Oh yeah. It's hilarious. It's wonderful. I think it's great. I mean, I've always liked, like the Charlie Brown kind of trip, the way the popular culture affects the people, the fans and everything. And when a project kind of catches the attention or the hearts of people, it's great. The movie didn't get tremendous reviews, but the people have spoken. It's the kind of thing that's really amazing to see. And I was very proud of it, and I loved doing it. I thought it was really a blast.
Do you ever, sorry, I just have to ask, do you ever watch Law & Order reruns? do? Do you? I watch them all the time.
No.
No, never?
I don't think so. But you know, my mother watches all of them, and so my mother is hilarious about it because I'll be sitting with my mom at home when I'm visiting her, and she'll put it on, and I'll say, "What is this one, Mom?" She'll say, "Oh yeah, you're not in this one." or she'll say, "Oh no, you're in this one. This is the one where," and then she'll just say what it is.
Oh, what it is?
Oh, yeah, she'll be incredible. She's
I
incredible.
also would just like to plug right now, if there's anything I can do to help make a Father of the Bride Part 3 happen.
What exactly would that be?
Maybe her daughter's getting married. I don't know. I don't write scripts.
Yeah. It would be great though.
Roger, you're also over on Netflix right now in Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh my God, that was a dream come true. It was 3 hours in makeup, or this is a wig. But it was really, really fun. I played Vice Principal Nero, who has mandatory concert recitals. And it was Barry Sonnenfeld, and he's fantastic, and Neil Patrick Harris, who I just love. So it was very dreamy. And I'm also on this really funny, well, it's not funny, but it's a show called Good Trouble, which is on Freeform. It's really cool, and that's a spin-off of The Fosters, and so I play a judge on that one, and I'm never funny.
And if they called for a Desperate Housewives revival?
No, not that I've heard. I almost got in a car accident with Marcia Cross recently. I thought that was
Really?
amazing. Yeah, she never saw me, but I secretly thought it was amazing.
I would watch that.
In different cars?
We weren't working. I just cut her off in Santa Monica.
And she didn't know it was you?
No, she laid on the horn and didn't know it was me. I thought it was so amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like a private thing. Like she was like, "You." I was like, "What to say? Oh my God, it's George." So funny. I love that.
Anthony, obviously I know the BroadwayCon group has been seeing you a lot this weekend, but you're also busy with Star Trek.
Our season 2 premiere on Thursday here in New York City.
Wow.
Premiere event here in New York. Which is cool. Yeah.
BroadwayCon or Comic-Con? Which is better
Oh.
for you?
No, I mean it's no content. It's really no. I'm not just saying because I'm in this room, but BroadwayCon.
BroadwayCon.
Yeah, I mean Comic-Con's cool, but it's like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This is family, community. We don't get to do these kinds of events at Comic-Con
Yeah.
at all. Like, yeah, it's not quite the same.
And you were talking earlier about Rent Live and the amazing people who would be a part of it. You'll be watching?
Yes, I'll be watching.
You having a party at your house? We coming over?
Yeah, you know, maybe.
Great, we're all in. We're all in.
No, but I'm watching with great hope. You know, Julie Larson, Jonathan's sister, is one of the producers. Michael Greif is directing it.
Yeah.
So I'm really, looking forward to it.
Hi, Ilana. I want to ask you just about. I was reading through your past Broadway credits, and I did not realize that you started in Last Night at Ballyhoo with the Broadway debut of this actor who's kind of come on to do some other things, Paul Rudd.
I remember being very worried about Paul Rudd.
What?
But what was gonna know? I mean, he's the funniest person ever.
So funny.
And an incredible actor, and yes, and I have a podcast now
Yes.
called Little Known Facts, which is like the Bird Box of podcasts.
It sure is.
It's just gone crazy, viral. Everyone here has listened to Little Known Facts with Ilana Levine, right? But everyone here has been on that podcast, and they were my first guests, and that's why the podcast took off. I'm not kidding. And it's just another testament to their loyalty and love that they sort of set me up on this new thing in the way that they have. And I believe we are recording this very conversation to publish it on my podcast, so every one of you is now on Little Known Facts. So thank you for that. And Paul Rudd.
And Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Kristen, you recently celebrated another anniversary. We all got to watch that go down on Wicked 15. It was so good. I was in the room. It was amazing. But I'm also curious. I know you do such amazing work for your camp programs, and I was wondering if you could tell everybody about that, because It is so wonderful.
Thank you for asking. About 10 years ago, I grew up in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and we never, you're the ones. We never had a performing arts center, you know, ever. We had like Sonic, and that was it. Someone died and left us a lot of money. I'm saying this wrong. I'm so glad they died because we would never have this family. And you're coming to teach. Anyway, y'all are all coming. Anyway, 7 years ago they told me they were going to name it the Chenoweth, the Kristin Chenoweth Theater, the theater. And I said, no, I'm not old enough. And they said, yeah, you are. And so what I've done is I've seen how other people, Anthony being one, Ilana, Roger, E.D., Michael, leave their legacy and how I want to do it. And so we have major acts come in like Vince Gill and Carol Burnett, and we have shows like Charlie Brown and Wicked and Rent and all these great ones, and My Fair Lady. Anyway, no, I love it. I love My Fair Lady.
Tell Laura.
I'm just teasing. Anyway, you know what? You have to have the My Fair Ladies come in so that you can have Peter and the Starcatcher. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So anyway, we started 5 years ago, Broadway Boot Camp. And if anybody wants to audition between 12 and 18, please submit, go to Kristin Chenoweth Performing Arts Center or the Broadway Kristin Chenoweth Arts and Education Fund and submit your videos. We pick 40. Last year we had over 1,000 kids audition. And what you do is I bring in a lot of my way more famous and talented people than me come in and teach and for a week, and we do singing, acting, and dancing and many other type classes like improv and writing. I'm going to start integrating the writing aspect, and we put on a show, and I'll be taking those submissions and I'll be making each one of them come at some point and teach, and it is something I'm extremely proud of, and I hope that y'all check it out. I'm growing it, and it's getting bigger and better, much like BroadwayCon, and I hope you check it out.
Well, it definitely is part of your legacy, as is this show. And